Hello, everybody. Welcome to End Groove with myself. I figured I should bring in someone who I love and respect and is a staple of the Austin music community. He's played with literally everyone. You've played with everyone, and you still play with everyone. Just some highlights. You're the drummer in Golden Dawn Arkestra. You have played with the Ging'bread Men. You've played with 8.5 Souvenirs. I mean, the list is really ongoing. So I want to welcome the one and only Robb Kidd to End Groove.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah,
I'm really honored to be here.
Oh, dude,
It's really
this whole
cool.
thing is about Austin, and we got Waterloo. I
Yeah.
wanted to have, and community is so important to you. I know this
Yeah.
about you.
Yeah,
I couldn't think of a better person to start this little new adventure with.
I'm so honored. Thank you.
So we could talk about a lot. We've known each other for a long time. We've
And we had a lot of fun playing together
we've
over
had
the
a
years.
lot of, yeah, throughout the world.
Yeah, Golden Dawn Arkestra, Kalu James.
Oh yeah, that's right. So, your history is really interesting, and I'm just going to do a quick touch on a few things so you can kind of tell us about it, because I think part of what makes you who you are and your playing and just your sensibility is just because you've experienced multiple parts of the world. So you were born in Houston, then you moved to New Orleans, then you went to LA, ended up in London,
Yep.
went to high school in Jersey, and then came to Austin?
Yep. Well,
Is that
yeah.
more? Did I miss
I
something?
went swimming at Barton Springs in November, and I have two drumming uncles here in Austin, Art and Will Kidd, and huge inspirations to me, obviously. And they gave me sticks when I was like 2 years old. And then by 4, I was like, I'm going to be a drummer when I grow up. And I was determined, I had the Kiss posters all over my wall. I liked the Beatles music a lot more than the Kiss music, but I loved the way Kiss looked.
I
But
mean,
yeah.
as a kid, I missed the Kiss thing, but just the images, like one of my older brothers was way into it. And it's just like,
Yeah.
it was a thing.
I stared at Kiss Alive 2 for hours upon hours, but I knew every Beatles lyric by the age of 4, I think, pretty much. But yeah.
So how do you think these experiences shaped you, not just as a person, but as a player? Like you must have learned so many different things in each of these places, like New Orleans for sure. I know that's a very deep connection you have there.
Yeah, it was an incredible experience living there. I mean, as a kid, I think you kind of get the confidence of playing music in New Orleans because it's like you just got to put in the practice, you got to put in the time, and it's kind of part of the culture.
It's everywhere.
And you hear that swing, that going and going to
Bobby.
those Mardi Gras parades,
Yeah.
and actually, I played in a band with Kirk Joseph and Henry Butler.
Wow.
And Papa Molly, and it was called Rhythm Council, and it was incredible, a lot of fun, and I said to Kirk one day, I said, man, when I was a kid, the Rex Parade on St. Charles, I heard this band coming down the street, and they were going, all right, we are the Purple Knights. Kirk said, man, that's at St. Augustine High School. That's where I went to school. And then I did all the time. And I can almost remember seeing a young Russell Batiste at like 14 years old. But that moment, seeing that drum line and it just gave me that kind of confidence. And, I'm a self-taught drummer. And yeah, I was in New Orleans around that funk. But the way I started was with AC/DC, Boom Chuck, I mean, AC/DC is not Boom Chuck. It's really hard stuff to play it right, But yeah, that was kind of like the building blocks for me. And then we moved but actually I asked my mom yesterday about like some early artists I may have seen, And I saw Lightning Hopkins when I was 4 years old. I went to the first Jazz Fest when I was on the fairgrounds.
Wow.
I was surrounded by music, and we actually lived out in LA for a brief stint. And my older brother just told me 2 years ago that while his best friend, he was an actor, Stevie Wonder, he was staying at this condo where all these celebrities and musicians lived. And Stevie's swim pool opened up, the French doors opened to a swimming pool where I spent like 5 days swimming while he's writing songs in the key of life. So
It's Stevie's house.
No, at this like condo, but the pool is where his French door is open
Wow.
to. Yeah, and then actually years later, I moved to LA, and not to pursue music because I was playing with Papa Molly the whole time. I did not participate in the local scene at all.
Interesting. How old were you?
2004. I have no idea.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just being out there and not really participating in the scene in LA, but participating with Papa Molly, always kind of going back and forth doing that.
So you ended up in LA in what, 2004-ish. Why did you go there?
Well, I fell in love. And yeah, Stevie was my landlord when I lived there. Coincidentally, it's a small world. So I almost, was around him when I was a kid, kind of. And then years later, lived in this Sherman Oaks and like kind of a small apartment building. Such a trip. I never met him.
Wow.
Yeah, I wanted to go see him when he played at ACL, but I needed some money.
Yeah.
So I had to play that gig at Eddie V's.
I've been there.
We did that Eddie V's shuffle for a second.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, my 79-year-old uncle, Robb Kidd, still plays 3 nights a week there.
Wow.
Yeah.
So is that why you came to... So you spent some teenage years in London, which are really formative for you, for everyone. But musically, like, what was that like?
It was a dream. I mean, the public transportation as a kid, it's like I was going to see shows like at the Hammersmith Odeon and like when I was 13 years old, I said, "Hey, Mom and Dad, my buddy and I were going to go see Ozzy," and they're like, "Have a good time." Dio, like
so
all
this
these,
is early mid-'80s.
Yeah, and getting to travel over in Europe a bit, and it was just such an incredible experience to live over there, and the music was so exciting at the time. Just everywhere you went, music was just exploding.
Incredible.
It was a wonderful time to be there. And then after that, going to New Jersey, where like
that's a
like,
jump,
yeah,
accent-wise alone.
yeah, it comes out, hey. But moving to New Jersey from London at that time, that's when the hip hop revolution started.
Wow.
Like the Beatles invasion. It was just like, it was amazing.
And you were coming from being kind of rock and roll metalhead in the UK. Suddenly you land in Jersey and there's this whole new music exploding.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And you connected with it because it was right there.
I really did.
Did you go into the city a lot?
Yeah, I would go to New York City blues jams. I'm joking. but
at the time you didn't really know.
Yeah,
right?
but like Frosty, the great drummer Frosty wanted me to play with a blues artist in town, and I missed the first set, and he was like, "Robbie, come see you play." So I went and checked it out, and we were hanging out in set break, and they're like, "Hey, Robbie, what do you think of the blues?" And I said, "Well, say it night, screw the blues." Because, just being up in New York, I was going to like 5 different clubs a night for jam sessions and kind of cut my teeth learning how to play on different kits and different kinds of grooves and stuff. But
absorbing jazz at the time as well?
Oh, yeah, I was really into jazz. But in fact, when I moved to Austin, I was saying I was Robb Kidd, the jazz drummer from New York. What a joke. But But J.J. Johnson.
Wait. We gotta go back to that. You would introduce yourself that way?
I did. Like when I joined the Gingerbread Men, John Vogelsang, the bass player, my good friend, I love him so much.
Shout out to
He's
Johnny B.
incredible. He wrote what are those things called? Rolodexes or
Yeah, there used to be Rolodexes back in ancient times, kids. There was
100 years ago.
Yeah, there was this there would be little cards that you would flip, and that's how people kept their contacts.
Yeah.
For all the not quite as seasoned veterans as us.
Yeah. He wrote in there, Robb Kidd, drummer from New York, which just cracked me up.
Well, because it is, I mean, the whole jazz thing, that's a different thing, but you're coming in from there, and if you're new to the city, so you landed here in what, 91?
Yeah. And right when I moved, so I moved here, and then I applied to California Institute of the Arts, and I went and auditioned with John Bergamo from Frank Zappa's Black Page, and with Albert Tootie Heath, who's on John Coltrane's first record, and brother of Percy Heath. I'm forgetting his other, but Percy Heath played with Charlie Parker. But it was an amazing experience, and I went for Tootie was like, it was playing with the band, but then the audition with John Bergamo, he said, "Can you play a paradiddle?" I said, "What's that?" And he said, "Can you play double stroke rolls?" "What's that?" He said, "Can you read music?" I said, "No, I don't know how to read music." But somehow I got accepted into the school.
Did you ever learn, like, how are your paradiddles now?
I don't know. No. I know nothing. And yeah, well, that's another thing. Because I just, broke my finger on tour in May, and it's been a recovery, but I'm still, like, working a lot. You know, my son's like, "Dad, you need to slow down," but I'm addicted. I'm a music nerd every single day, you know?
That's great. And you play with so many people. So what was your first gig when you landed in Austin in 91?
Well, I was a roadie with a band called Duck Suit for a little while.
Yeah.
Which was a lot of fun because this guy took me all around the South. It was a wonderful way to see in a big box truck kind of thing. But I was hanging out at the Elephant every single night, and there was this guy named A.D. Manning. He was a wonderful man. He, when he was a kid, he would fill in for Danny Richards, who was a drummer from Charles Mingus.
Wow.
When he was 17 years old, because he lived in an apartment upstairs, but he was an incredible drummer and mentor to me. And I would go to the Elephant every night that I could. And since my drumming uncles, they worked it out. They were like, he's only 18, I guess 19, but get him in.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I did that for like a year. And then actually in the back of the Chronicle, there was this band that was like, "Hey, looking for a drummer who likes to play Jimi Hendrix, Grateful Dead." And I had actually played in the Grateful Dead cover band at a place called the Wetlands in New York.
Oh, yeah, the Wetlands that was a big scene.
It was incredible. I mean, it was an amazing time. My job was to host the celebrities we had a weekly gig. So I met some incredible people. And,
wow,
you know, they were having just the quality of the music there is just incredible.
I mean, that was kind of a jam band incubator.
Launching point,
right?
Yeah. This woman, Cheryl, blues, she was a manager there. I'm forgetting her last name, but she went out to the Boulder Theater. But she, Blues Travelers, Spin Doctors, Widespread Panic, Fish.
Totally.
You know, But that was a pretty remarkable time to be playing in a Grateful Dead cover band, because the Grateful Dead would play 10 nights a year at Madison Square Garden. And I went to go see a bunch of those shows, and I was like, so I saw 35 Dead shows.
Wow.
And then years later, from playing with Papa Molly, I got to play double drums at Billy a handful of times. And then he called me up. He was like, "Hey, come."
So you're talking about the second drummer, Bill Kreutzmann.
He's the original drummer.
Exactly. Because there's two drummers, but he was the original drummer. Yeah. So you played with him when you were playing with Papa Molly a few years back.
Yeah, we did actually in New Orleans a few times and at ACL. But that was quite an incredible experience. And I got to stay at his house for a week.
Oh, wow.
It was just
In the Bay Area?
in Kauai, and I'd never been to Hawaii before, and it
Whoa.
was so cool. Oh my God.
That's better than the Bay Area.
Calgon.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, I'm off on another little follow the drum pass story there.
Yeah, no, but that's the beauty of
Yeah.
it. That's the beauty of being a musician, right? Is
Yeah.
being open and seeing where things take you.
Yeah, Papa Molly, like I played with him for 13 years. And because of with him, I got to play with George Porter, Cyril Neville, one of my favorite singers ever.
Yeah.
Got to play with George quite a bit, you know, and have experiences where it's just like the two of us in a living room, like studying songs. He's like, hey, man, I think that might be me on that record with Lee Dorsey. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, wow.
It was incredible.
So
But yeah.
So George Porter Jr., for those who don't know, is the bass player for the Meters, who is one of the funkiest human beings and one of the architects of modern funk music.
Yeah. I mean, one night at Tipitina's, it was Kurt Joseph on sousaphone from the Dirty Dozen, and George on bass, and Big Chief Monk Boudreaux, and Cyril Neville, and Papa Molly at Tipitina's. That was fun. That was a good night. That was a fun night. And New Orleans, just like, it gives you that confidence, I feel like, to be because I feel like as a drummer, you have to like show up with positive energy. And you have to show up with confidence, and that, I think being there when I was a kid kind of gave me that confidence and bravery in a sense, fearlessness.
Yeah, you had already seeped in that energy subconsciously early on.
Yeah. And moving to Austin, you know, just, you know, and still to this day, you know, when I'm not playing a gig, I will go see 3 or 4 shows in a night, because everywhere you go, you see so many incredible musicians.
Yep.
So everywhere you go, I get inspired, you know?
100%.
It's amazing.
So I don't want to, I'm still curious about when you first came to Austin. How did you end up? Because I first encountered you as a drummer when I saw you play with the Gingerbread Men. And that's when I honed in on like, because I wasn't really a drummer yet. I was a secret fantasy drummer in my mind. And I was like, this guy's funky.
But you also, oh my God, thank you so much. Oh my God. That was a really hard time to walk away from that band. I had some shoulder issues from a skateboarding injury when I was a kid. And it was like coming out of socket, and it was really hard to walk.
Wait, but before we go to the end of it, how did that come about? How did you end up in the Gingerbread Men?
Also through the Chronicle ad. So the first band that said, hey, come jam, I met some of the guys from the Gingerbread Men, and that's how. And Johnny called me up. So he's like, hey, man, you want to play like some gigs with us this weekend? So I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. You know, I'm about to go out to California. And so the first show in San Antonio where kids know how to rock.
Yeah, it's a metal town.
And like all of a sudden, like all these kids started flying through the air and slam dancing, and I had never experienced anything like it. And I got off the stage and I went to a payphone and I called my mom. I said, Mom, I'm not going to Cal Arts. And I joined the Gingerbread Men, and we toured for 6 years without taking a weekend off. And we lived together for most of those years until we would go live.
Until you didn't.
Until we go live with our girlfriends.
Until you didn't, because it was time to be away from each other.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, that's, you know, we would play 6 nights a month at Antone's and on Guadalupe. We would open up for Maceo Parker for 5 nights a year. And that was like Funk University.
I remember those.
And got to be really good friends, especially with the drummer. And man, talk about a hard job. Drumming for Maceo. Wow.
Yeah, no doubt.
He was incredible.
Because Maceo had taken a lot of notes from playing with James Brown and how to handle a band, if you will.
Yeah, and his brother Melvin Parker was a drummer with James First, and he got Maceo into the band.
That's right.
And he's also the drummer on Popcorn.
Wow. Yeah.
And awesome. But the first time they played at Antone's, he was there. And so...
And this was the Antones on Guadalupe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was like...
I remember.
the
That was
coolest club
that was
in the
my
world.
first Antones. Yeah.
It's the best. It was like, what a vibe.
Yeah.
But yeah, that first year, we got to go to Ruby's barbecue at like 3 a.m.
I miss Ruby's
after the show and eat with Maceo and Melvin. It was like, wow, you know. And you're just like a kid, and you're like, what is happening, you know?
Amazing.
But that's, you know, that's music, you know. Just follow your dreams, you know.
So you're a very eclectic player, and you're a self-taught drummer. And to me, I'm going to give you a compliment that is probably the highest compliment a musician can get, in my opinion. Like if I walk into a club and I don't see who's playing drums and I hear it, I know it's you.
Oh, man.
Like for real, like you may not have good paradiddles, you may have all sorts of shortcomings, whatever you think that is, but you've developed your own sound, and that is what every musician strives for. So kudos to you.
Thank you
because
so much,
you have
Alex.
a sound, and it's no wonder you play with so many people. And I'm not blowing smoke. I'm just telling you the facts as I know them from being someone in the scene and being a musician and a drummer, you know. So
thank you. That means so much to me, man.
no, it's just the facts. And so playing with 8.5 Souvenirs is completely different than playing with, say, Golden Dawn Arkestra or with Mien or with Tony Price or with David Garza or, you know, like the list could be endless.
God, Tony Price, I learned so much from her. Oh, my God.
Like in your mind, how do you even... Does that even factor in? Do you just come in and play music? How do you approach the mindsets of such different gigs?
I really try to listen to it a bit, but there's also just like, I want to try to do it my way too. You know, like certain gigs, it's been like, you got to do it note for note, you know, there's that. But other times it's like, I like to listen to it like a few times and take the pieces, but
That's your usual method, I think.
Yeah, a slacker. No, I'm joking.
Everybody has their own process.
Yeah, for me, like you know, getting into the car and turning it up loud is a good place for me to study music a lot. And, but yeah, every day feels like another commitment to say, hey, I want to keep on doing this, you know, and I want to keep on finding new, cool, beautiful people to play with, because everybody that you just mentioned were just all incredible, like beautiful people, wonderful people.
100%.
So all my career,
great talents.
Yeah, great talents and people, but like, you know, it's like the punk rock attitude to me kind of is like, I like to do things that I might not be as comfortable with, and 8.5 Souvenirs is a good example of that. Because, you know, it's like, I wasn't really the right guy for that gig, you know, that wasn't my bag, but I learned on the gig, you know, and
8.5 Souvenirs was a wonderful band. I mean, it still is, right? Y'all still play?
They still play sometimes.
It's like
I
a
don't do it
swing
anymore.
inspired project, right?
Yeah, Olivier Giraud and Kathy Kaiser, just a genius. I love them both, and Todd Wolfmeyer. And now Dan Redman on bass, but the great Damian Yanez has been doing it.
Oh yeah,
the last couple of years. Yeah,
he's amazing. His hands are so clean.
God, he's so great.
Right?
Man. Yeah, and Good Texas. Wow.
Yeah, no doubt. So let me ask you: since you say that you felt like you were the wrong person for the gig, why do you think people? Why in your mind do people call you to play drums with them?
Why did I get that gig?
Well, in general, for start, that's a good example. That's a good launching pad because it is outside of your wheelhouse initially, but they had seen you play. So why do you think they called you for it?
Well, the last day there was 2 auditions, and I'm such a poser that I thought it'd be really cute because it was at like 9:30 or 10 in the morning. I'm like, are you serious? Who plays music at this time? I thought it was crazy.
Yeah.
So the other drummer was on the other side of the room, kicking, just killing it. And they come out, and the band comes out, and I had fallen asleep with a cigarette in my hand, burned down like Bob Geldof ash, and Olivia was like, "It's so rock and roll," so that got me the gig. No, but no, that was and Kevin Smith was on the bass, and he taught me a lot. He's with Willie Nelson now, but it was really a lot, really fast. To like the first 3 weeks that I played for him, we played at Montreal Jazz Fest to 120,000 people.
Wow.
And under the stage, we didn't have any songs left, and we had to do an encore. And they're like, "Robbie," it goes da 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 da. The first time I ever played it.
Wow.
Like, wow. But that's kind of fearlessness that we have to have as drummers. Like, let's just go for it, And,
Yeah, not being afraid to fail.
And sometimes it
We
does,
fail.
Yeah.
So your current main projects are you've been the drummer and one of the architects of Golden Dawn Arkestra for going on 10, 12 years now?
Since the beginning, and we actually had a band before that called Hellfire Social.
That's right.
And that kind of morphed into Golden Dawn.
And that was Robb Kidd, that was Topaz, that was Greg Rhodes.
Josh Bordeaux. Yeah. And so, we added some horns and some percussion.
Yeah.
And, that has been such a dream for me, that band, because I always wanted to go to Europe, and I have family that lived in London. I always say to my nephews, "I'll get over there someday." But then Golden Dawn, going over there, has just been regularly quite a bit. Has been so incredible.
Yeah.
I love it. And Topaz is just, I love him so much. And he's,
I don't know who you're talking about. Do I know this
yeah,
guy?
They were in a mud phonic together before the Golden Dawn as well.
That's right. Yeah, we go back.
Oh yeah, for sure. But and we have a new record coming out. I don't know when it's coming out, but I'm just so proud that we're still making records.
Yeah.
And these shows are fun. Always, I always have the time of my life when I play, and I wear a mask, so it's a lot of fun to tour the world and have a mask on, and all I have to do is take off a robe and a mask, and like Topaz, he has glitter on there for like 4 weeks after the tour.
Yeah, no doubt.
But everybody in the band is so great. But it cracks me the similarities between the Ging'bread Men, kind of being like a funky horn-driven percussion band, and then Golden Dawn all those years later. And then, playing with John Speece.
Like on steroids.
Yeah.
Right? Because so many people and dancers and wardrobe and a bigger show presentation, right? Which is something that I always dug about Golden Dawn.
I love the theater aspect of it, the theater.
Yeah.
But that's the way it feels to me.
And shout out to Echo, who was very integral in the visualization of that band.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Art direction, yeah. And Rosie Toes.
Rosie Toes, of course.
Is now the art director, yeah. But so many incredible musicians. I mean, madhouse. It still is.
Yeah. But I like where y'all are at in the sense, because there was a time where it was just such a big revolving door. And I like how there's a tighter, consistent unit, maybe younger folks. And I just like where y'all are at with that.
Yeah, that's why I wear a mask, is because,
you're the
getting older.
Old fogey. Well, doesn't stop Topaz. So there's Golden Dawn, which is fantastic, and Mien, so right?
Mien, yeah. So
and that is how it's pronounced, right?
Yes, it's so funny. It's a blessing, and it's a blessing and a curse of a name, because like when we're on tour,
relate to those.
People are like, "Is it Mien?
Right?
Is it mine?"
Yeah.
It's Mien. But
and that's Alex Maas from the Black Angels.
Yes.
How did that collaboration come to be?
Alex is one of my best friends in the world. I love him. I met him through Brett Orson from Space Flight Records.
Yeah, shout out to both of them.
Yeah. And we did something. The first thing that we did was actually with Erica Winterstrom. and Alex and Jesse on bass from the Tinted Things.
Yeah.
And
I did
that was in 2000.
I did a tour with him a couple of years ago
he's
in
so
Europe
cool.
with Israel Nash.
Yeah, that was a great tour, wasn't it?
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to.
It was like all the dream venues, right?
It was cool venues. It was a cool tour, but that's not why we're here.
Yeah.
So you're doing these gigs with Erica Wennerstorm.
Well, actually, I got to sub a couple of gigs from her for Erica. The drummer called me up, and she put out this solo record. And oh my God, have you heard it?
I don't think so.
It's one of my favorite records, and I spent summer just listening to it every single day.
Nice.
On like a 7-week long tour in Europe. And I sent her a little message just like, Eric, I love this record. And then Chris Hauser, who was drumming with her at the time, asked me to sub, and I was just, oh my God. So I got to play all these songs I had fallen so in love with.
Oh, that's such a good feeling, isn't it?
Oh my God. It was incredible, dude. I mean, but that for me, most of these gigs that I have gotten have been from being a music fan,
Sure.
And yeah, but
it's not your paradiddles.
but like with Mien though, we have one person in Montreal, another in Abilene, Alex, and myself here in Austin, and Rishi up in Montreal, and Tom First, who's just doing the records now in London.
Is there new music from Mien?
Well, we just put out a record not so long ago, and we did a really wonderful run of England. I'd never toured England besides London, so I got to play in Manchester for the first time.
Nice.
And got to see the Viagra Boys when I was there. It was pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, we did 5 shows in London. In England, and that was really great. And Paris and Amsterdam and forget the other place. But it was a short little Europe tour.
Cool.
And then we also did a run with the Black Rebel Motorcycle Club.
Oh, nice.
Oh my God, I fell so in love.
Very cool.
The record, I love the record so much, and I'm so proud of it and honored to be on it. And everyone in that band is some of the most wonderful people I've ever been around.
Amazing.
And it was really cool to go on tour with just like 4 people as well.
Yeah.
And
I remember those days.
and Alex is really like, he's not only like, he's one of my best friends in the world. I love him to death. He's just an incredible person, but he's also my favorite singer in the world. So getting to play with him every time is just amazing.
Yeah,
and
he's such a unique thing.
Yeah,
I have so much respect for him.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And we we'll get together and we'll jam for 5 hours straight, just the 2 of us, and just search for that lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
But still doing his solo project as well with Alex, and we actually went out to California and did a duo run. Cool. And I'm learning how to sing backup vocals.
Yeah.
I went and had a lesson with you. When I left the house, I was almost crying. But
from joy.
Yeah. It's very vulnerable.
It is singing really, is a very vulnerable thing.
Spitting all over the room is
that's part of it.
Trilling your lips.
Yeah. So, as someone who's played with so many people, what do you feel band leaders or musicians in general misunderstand about the drummer?
I mean, if there's a problem, where is anyone going? Looking at the drummer, right? So I don't know. It's being a side guy in Austin, because after touring with Papa Molly and my son got a little bit older, I didn't want to tour as much, and I became more of a local musician, and so I did 350 shows a year for 10 years, and with a a lot of those were on the same night, though. It wasn't like
Yeah,
every
and
single night of the week.
you would go live on Instagram for a lot of them. I remember.
Oh, Facebook. Or
Or
was it
Facebook.
MySpace? No, it's Facebook. Yeah. But actually, I was such a nerd about that. But one of the reasons why I did that was so that I could listen and go, oh my God, that sounded bad.
Yeah,
That sounded
recording
good.
yourself is
Yeah,
important for
it's
sure.
such a learning tool.
But
really.
okay, back to the question though. So maybe let's find a different angle to the question, because I like giving drummers some love, because drummers tend to be forgotten. They're like the unsung hero a lot of times. And you do a lot of session work. You do a lot of studio work.
I love it.
How do you feel about the drummer's role in songwriting and that, controversial topic of, so I wrote the song, did my contribution become a part of the composition of the song? Did it not? How do you feel about those little nuances, which are very delicate?
Yeah, it's such a bizarre thing, because everyone that you go into the studio with, they've been saving up their money. They got a record deal. They've been writing their songs for years. And then they go to the studio, and I hear the song for the very first time that day, and I play it one or two times, and that's it. But
Yeah.
what I do is I just like listen to the song, and in the studio I can't hear one other song
Sure.
until we're finished with that one.
Totally.
And what I do is like I'd really try to say, hey, I'm making something that lasts forever, and say, like, take a little second and really try to serve the song. And since I don't read music, I take little notes. And what I ask for is lyric sheets. So I'll write on the lyric sheet, little do a drum fill here, a cymbal here, kind of little notes. Because as the more you do studio work, the art of getting through a take successfly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah, but just
it can be stressful.
Yeah.
Because you're on. And if you're not on,
it's very obvious.
Someone else is going to have to come in and be on.
Yeah, it's very obvious when it's not good. But what I do when I record is I never listen to myself. I never listen to a playback.
You never go into the control room.
No.
You just let it lie.
I just like, if you like it, I like it, because you put your ego out of the process.
Yeah.
I don't do drum fills for myself. When I was a kid, I used to be like, I like that one fill. Bah, bah, bah.
Sure.
I don't care about that. I want to do it for the song.
100%.
Serve the song. That's what it's about, to set up. So now, like when I was a kid, I'd be playing like all over when the singer's singing and doing drum fills, and now it's much more like set up the chorus, set up the bridge, and try to be more disciplined with it.
Sure.
Because it took me a lot of years of reining that in, a lot of hard work to learn how to really get comfortable with a click track, because you'll go in with these artists that you have never played with a click track. And so I will actually go, I'm not proud to say this, but I will literally sometimes with a headphone box, I'll like, well, that bass player is going a little faster. Bye.
Yeah.
The guitar player, bye.
Yeah.
The keyboard player, bye. And what do you got left? The lead singer and a scratch guitar and the click track. Because
all those other things, all those other elements can be
confusing.
overdubbed. And they can be overdubbed.
Yeah, but
Your
for
part
me,
is, the drummer's part is, that's the part.
And for me, if they're rushing, I will rush with them. I'm good at that.
Yes, you are.
So
I can attest to that.
I can go from like more so than the Rolling Stones. Like,
yeah, totally.
no, but seriously, like, just like to get through that's kind of another way to get through the take when they're hiring you to get through it one or two times. You're like, and so sometimes you have to do it that way. But in like the last 2 weeks, I've recorded with 6 different artists, and I'm not proud to say that I can't tell you many of their names.
Sure. Wow.
Because it's like, it's more about the musical journey and the song, but it's also about the people as well. But I'm just terrible with names.
Yeah. Yeah. And the older you get, that whole thing gets even harder. So on that note, like what was the first big mistake you made in the studio that taught you like the biggest lesson?
Oh my God.
What was your big like,
Oh, it was so hilarious.
oh no.
It was so hilarious with the Gingerbread Men. We went to record a record, and our second record, and none of us had played with a click track, so we'd speed up this one part and slow down this other part, and like and go to the studio. I was like, I'd take that click track and I'd turn it all the way up, like as loud as it would go, and then I'd take shit, I'd tie it around my head, literally like
so it wouldn't move,
like Alex Van Halen style, you know, like it was on there as tight as it can be before any errors came about, you know. But yeah, I was like, I don't know. I think there might be something wrong with this click track, you know. It might be malfunctioning.
Yeah.
But like, I have an app in my phone for all these different artists that I play with, and I have all their song titles in there, and I just click
like
on the
tempo
song.
maps.
Yeah, not just the for the start of the song.
Yeah.
And some artists like it, like Patrice Pike. Actually, it was a Sister Seven reunion who actually were getting together tonight to play.
Who
guys.
were originally Little Sister.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah. And Patrice is still doing it Thursdays over there. But when I did the Sister Seven reunion, I was like, well, their old drummer used to use a click track live, so I will too. And that's kind of when I started doing it more in live. You know, not all the time. I mean, Golden Dawn went through a phase where we were playing with Ableton. So for like 2 years, it was like playing along with a click track. But I enjoy it because it's, rather than it being a disciplinarian to me anymore, I've always tried to look at it almost like it's like a percussion player playing with me.
That's one of the biggest lessons that my dear friend and drum mentor, Ed Jarasinski, told me once.
He's so incredible.
He's like, think of the metronome or the click track like you're jamming with someone who's just got impeccable time. And just like that little mental shift removes the sort of the semi-anxiety that one can get when you're first playing with, you know, with a metronome. No?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, and then when you get comfortable with it and you can kind of make it push for a little bit and pull it back a little bit, and now when I go to the studio, I don't have to hurt my ears, turn it up full blast anymore.
So let me ask you a follow-up question to that then, because it's an interesting thing that starts to happen, because then you rely on it for your time. Like, let's say you came back from a tour with Golden Dawn and you had been on Click, then you go do a gig at the Continental Club with someone. Did you totally second guess your time? Were you like, was I rushing? Was I dragging? Was I rushing? Was I dragging?
You bet. But John Speece also ruined my life 12 years ago with this app called Live BPM. It's not a click track, but it tells you what tempo you're playing
I'm
at.
familiar. And it's funny that he turned you on to it, because he's kind of totally against it now.
But he doesn't. He is a fucking clock. I mean, he is a clock.
The philosophy is, which I think we all adhere to, is that music is supposed to breathe.
Yeah.
And sometimes it does need to push a little bit.
Exactly.
And sometimes it drops back a little bit because it's a conversation.
Yes.
It's a living organism.
Yeah.
But did that happen where you're like, did you get addicted to that, having the tempo and like freaking out?
Yeah, certainly. Certainly. Yeah. You know,
How did you combat it, or did you?
It was a head game, you know. You know, it's like, you know, the whole thing would. I still almost get nervous for almost every single gig I do.
Really?
Because I love drumming so much. I'm such a nerd. Every time I play, I'm like, just get so into it. But yeah, every gig I get a little bit nervous, like excited about it. Are you still
hooked on that Live BPM? Do you still put it every time?
It's down by my bass drum foot at every show. It's bad.
But the question is, how much do you adhere to it? Like, do you just look at it and realize, okay, I sped up 5 beats per minute, it's okay? Or do you try and like rein it back in?
Well,
do you use it as a self-awareness, or as like a chain to keep you tied? So let me ask you then, as someone who's been in town for, 35 plus years at this point, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. So how do you feel things? I don't want to dwell too much because we all know how much Austin has grown. We know the growing pains and some of the the downfalls and the cliches that everybody complains about. But
Yeah.
now we're entering a phase where we're becoming kind of the older generation in the
Yeah.
scene, and
I love it.
a lot of people don't know anything
Yeah.
about anything that you've done.
Yeah.
There's also a tremendous influx of incredible musicians who are living in this town right now.
Amazing.
So how do
place.
you feel about what's it like making music in Austin now, and what would you say to someone that's starting to try and do this as a career?
Don't. Yeah, I mean, really,
Is it even really possible anymore?
right? You know,
I'm asking you, is it?
yes, I think you have to figure other ways to do it besides just being a live drummer, trying to get some publishing here and there. Yeah, I think a lot of like music school kids have kind of moved down here to chase the Austin music dream. And yeah, I think there are a lot of incredible young players, and it's so amazing to turn 54 in like a couple weeks on the 22nd, and to have been around this long. Like even the Grupo Fantasma guys told me like they loved the Gingerbread Men when they were kids, and that we inspired them.
100%.
And man, there's nothing better than that's like inspiring people to want to play music. It's just that's the best. You know? One of the best rewards of
Yeah, because
playing.
we would all, I mean, we're only a few years apart. So you were a little bit ahead, and we were out going to see y'all. And I mean, Damer changed my life. Christian Fernandez changed my life, period.
Oh, yeah.
And he changed a lot of people's lives.
He really did.
Right?
He really did.
So, yeah, it is interesting to have that. I'm just curious how you feel about Austin today as a professional musician.
I love it.
What are your thoughts?
I still, I'm kind of excited about it, the growth. Like so many people are negative about it, but hey, it's America, and a lot more people are showing up every day. Like like people like have kids that
yeah.
And it's nice to see the city grow.
Does it really create more opportunities? Are you seeing that as a reality? Is it really creating more opportunities, or do you find that maybe it's just another thing that people have an option to do, like to go see live music? Whereas when we were, forming ourselves here, and part of what drew us here is that it's a culture. Right.
Mhm.
And if you don't foment and support the culture kind of goes away.
Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
I still feel like the culture is really alive and well. And I really I have so many younger friends that are musicians and that are just, I feel like Austin is in a good place. And I love our community so much,
It is different than so many other places because we all know each other and we all support each other. There's not like that unhealthy, oh, he's got that gig, I wanted that gig. There's not that kind of negative competition. It's like a supportive.
Or at least we don't talk about it. Yeah.
Well,
I'm joking.
But it's never. Everyone can be disappointed if someone, but you're also happy for that person because you know them and you know how much they work, right? Like it is a very tight-knit community where we all support each other.
And what a joy to call a friend on the phone and say, hey, you want to do a gig?
Yeah.
Pays really good money. It's going to be fun.
Exactly.
What a joy that is.
Man,
right?
I wish I would have had that experience with you. You've actually, I've gotten a lot of work because of you.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I like that.
Teamwork, baby. Teamwork.
It is. Well, that was the
That's
whole.
it.
That's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point. And that doesn't exist in a lot of music cities at all.
Yeah. And when and you know, there's so many more drummers in Austin now than there used to be.
And like tremendous drummers.
Yeah, really great players. I say that. I don't like many of them.
Yeah. Well, there's some that can rein in the abilities better than others.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't want to talk negative because I love our scene, but I hate all the drumming. It's so unmusical to me.
It's a place where the drum world has gone, particularly because of Instagram, I find, and it's just sort of chops, which have a place.
Yeah,
But
certainly.
they also don't have a place.
Yeah, one time I did a 6-month tour open up for Galactic with Papa Molly, and the bass player said, "Robbie, you always go on stage with a hoodie on, a hat all down, always looking down, closing your eye." I never open my eyes, as you know, usually.
I do.
But then Stanton would get on stage, and he was like the most exciting drummer in the world to watch, smiling.
He's
making eye
like the
contact.
front man when they don't have one, really.
He's unreal.
He's very engaging.
Yeah. I guess I do have a little bit of stage fright in a way with that. But yeah, I think, you know, that means not to say that I don't like all these like kind of chop stuff. There's so many incredible players in town.
Yeah, absolutely.
And with a good producer, you know, like, and a good songwriter, you know. And I also think it's just kind of a phase that's happened with.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
a trend, and it's just
Yeah.
kind of where sometimes the music goes. Like anything else, something can go too far and it gets reined back in. And a lot of it is also youth, right? Like you grew up at a certain time, and the things that are cool, you do them, and then later on, perhaps they'll figure out like, oh.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something to be said for having chops. There's something to really be said for knowing when not to use them. I guess that's where I connect with you on it.
Yeah.
Like you can have them. I'm amazed at a lot of them, but the amount of times that you really need them, and this is a controversial subject because there's two camps. They're like, and because no one's saying, I don't think anyone should not train and prepare themselves and learn their instrument and their craft to the best of their abilities. Like I get that, but what are you playing? I guess, can you play to a song or not?
Yeah. That's all I want to do. I want to make the musicians that I play with happy. I want to make the singer-songwriters feel like that's the idea that the dream when they first dreamt up the song. You know, that's what I'm always going for. One thing about Stanton, though, I didn't say was the crowd would be freaking out. So with all this stuff, where I'm like, I don't like that, but a lot of people love that stuff because it's incredible to see.
But I find him to be so musical when he does it.
Oh yeah,
He doesn't chop for chop's sake.
Yeah, he's not a chop player. No. It wasn't really a good example, I suppose.
But I know what you mean. Like people react. I mean, people love drummers and love that flash, and it's cool.
Yeah.
But again, it's all context, right? Like if you're going to play a song with a singer-songwriter is different than if you're playing in a prog rock band. You're going to need those chops for the composition. I guess it's all just time and place. And I guess what you're alluding to, as I agree with, is like sometimes the chops are there when they don't need to be. But again, that's personal opinion, just like anything else, right?
Exactly. Yeah. But you teach chops, don't you?
I don't teach chops.
Like rudiments?
Well, yeah. I mean, because again, I think it's important to learn your instrument. And it's not like I have any chops because I don't. But it is important to get some fundamentals. And I mean, I'm kind of like you, more than, let's say, a John Spees, who's a really good, disciplined studier. You and I share the perspective of where we go play. And we cut our teeth playing more so than practicing. I still practice, but not as much to do that. And I think you're the same kind of player.
I wish I could practice, man. I just can't.
Well, it's a discipline just
Unless
like
I'm
anything
playing
else.
with other people, like I'm in. I'll do it for
Yeah.
like 12 hours a day, no problem.
Yeah, because you're playing music, you're having a conversation, you're not alone in a room, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just going through some weird motions. So, okay, so we could digress to drum world forever. What are you most excited about musically right now
I mean,
that you're involved in?
Alex Maas and Mien and Golden Dawn Arkestra and Hillary York, Willie McGee, Crouchy Like Riley, Marshall Hood.
Oh, so you're just not going to leave anyone out. I
the-
see.
the
Very
lo-
diplomatic.
Yeah, I'm being very diplomatic. But no, actually, but I mean, just like, Alex and, I'm most excited about that project in Golden Dawn,
That's great.
and Mien,
Amazing.
Yeah.
Just last question, I guess. Like, if you weren't a drummer, what would you be doing?
I have no idea.
You ever think about that?
No, because ever since I was 4, I was like, I'm gonna be a drummer when I grow up, and I was always just very determined. But I don't know. What else would I do?
What,
I
like,
mean,
if
as I become like a more of like an elder statesman in the music scene, I mean, mentoring some younger bands would be kind of cool.
yeah.
I wish I could teach how to drum.
Well, you can. You can.
I can teach the AC/DC method.
Well, here's the thing. The thing about teaching that I learned is that you have to be aware of what you bring to the table, and there's knowledge to be imparted by someone with your experience. And it happens to me when I teach too. Like, someone comes to me looking for something that is not in my wheelhouse, I recommend them to someone else. But if they come looking for something that is something that I can share my knowledge and guide them, that's what teaching is. It's what you love, which is community and sharing.
Man, you're such a great teacher. Man.
I'm not, but thank you.
Well,
We all teach what we know, and there's been many, many times where people are like, I want to learn this. I was like, you should go to this guy because that's his bag. You know?
You're right.
So there's no reason why you wouldn't be able to teach if that's something you wanted to do.
It's no idea. I'm so grateful to be, my age and still so passionate and love it so much. I feel so blessed.
It's great to be this age.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was 49, I was like, 49 is just awkward. 50 is much better.
Well, I'll find out soon enough because I'm right at that cusp. So
Where are you at?
I will be 50 in a few months.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. I'll be there for that party. Cool,
Well, Robbie,
man.
I think the world of you as a person, as a drummer, and I love how much you care about people and the people in our community. And you're a good friend to so many people. And I just wanted to acknowledge that because, I think community is built by people like you.
Yeah, thank you so much, man.
And
Really,
I mean that.
thank you.
Like, you're still one of the few people that actually pick up the phone and call someone to have a phone conversation. And I love that.
Friendships are like plants. You got to water those, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much,
Dude,
man.
thank you for coming here and doing this. It's always a joy to,
Yeah,
chat
I love
with
you,
you
man.
and,
Thank you.
you know.
I'm so honored to be here.
Oh,
wow.
dude, thank you, man. Thank
I
you.
never thought a drummer would do a podcast before.
Well, we'll see.
This is great, man. No, I'm talking about me.
Oh, dude. Well, I want to shine a light on some,
Some drummers around town.
because it's such an underappreciated yet universally loved position. Everybody loves the drums, everybody loves the drummer, but then drummers, it's a misunderstood thing.
Yeah.
Being a drummer is a misunderstood thing and how people perceive what you do.
And a lot of songwriters don't appreciate the fact that you help write the song. Alex Maas was the first one who gave me songwriting credit because of a drum beat.
And that's amazing.
And Golden Dawn did the same thing. And
If it's the seed of a song, I mean, it's no different than any part. If it's a hook and it's something that was a seed that helped the song blossom and be what it is. I think that's fundamental. And it gets tricky and complicated because especially singer-songwriters, they're like, well, I guess the big test is if you take my part out, is it still a good song? Because at the end of the day, like if it's a song you can pick up the acoustic guitar and it's going to be exactly the same, then I get it.
Yeah.
But if it's a collaborative effort, I think drummers get a little shafted.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah.
And people don't like to talk about that.
Yeah. Yeah. They
all.
In the industry. Yeah.
It's very uncomfortable.
But one thing I would say to all musicians is, because I've had so many friends, and even myself in my early years would be like, oh, the record came out and I didn't get any credit for that songwriting, blah, 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 and be all grumpy about it. And I see friends of mine do it all the time. But you got to say it on the day that you write the song.
You have to speak.
You have to use your words.
Yep.
You know, Austin has a hard time doing that sometime in the industry.
Well, we all do to a certain
in
degree.
LA, they're much more like, give me that money now.
Yeah.
And here in Austin, we're like, whatever you can pay, kind of thing. But I went to play one show in Norway with Henry Butler.
Nice.
And I lived in California at the time. And it was an absolute disaster to go all the way over there to play one show. And the bass player that was on the gig, he was like, I told him how much money I was making. He was like, man, negotiating is like half of being a musician.
Absolutely.
Knowing
your worth is a lesson that takes, unfortunately, sometimes too much time.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Knowing your worth and asserting that, and actually saying no to something. We have such a hard time saying no because we don't know where the next gig is going to come. And it's like, if I don't take it, am I going to work?
Mm-hmm.
It's very complicated.
Yeah. Like, because it's like, how do we keep this going? I'm like, wow, is this still, the ride's still going to keep on going?
Yeah.
And it's still going. It's a trip, but, I feel like that's a really important part of being a drummer, though, is always looking for new people to play with and being a fan first and foremost and saying, hey, I really love what you're doing.
Yeah, and I want to be a part of it.
And if you ever need a drummer.
100%. Putting yourself out there.
Yeah. Remember back in the day when we would go to the Continental Gallery and get gigs there?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Like the gallery, the Continental Club.
If you're not out, people forget. People have short attention spans. Mm-hmm. And especially even like if you land a good gig or what appears to be a good gig, and you're out on the road a lot and you come home and then you don't get any calls because everybody has everybody thinks that, oh, well, now I can't hire him because he's always gone or he's too expensive, or it's an interesting kind of balance. But you have to get out there, especially if you're younger. Like you have to be out on the scene and meeting people and seeing what's going on, and because it's people getting together and doing things.
Yeah.
So if you
gotta keep on manifesting that stuff.
Absolutely.
And when you're overseas, you gotta be like, yo, what about that gig?
Yeah, but I'm gonna be back in 3 weeks. I need some work.
But no matter how hard you work on it, there's still that like month or two where it's like, getting back to,
of course,
to get into some regular work
it's
again.
Uncertainty all the time.
Yeah.
And getting used to the ups and downs takes time.
The roller coaster, yeah. Because, hey, I recorded some records in the last 2 weeks, but who knows?
Who knows?
Might be a drought coming up.
Yeah, that's usually how it is. All right, Robbie. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
My man.
Yeah, I'll see you soon.